Hi, it's Scott, ROCKFILE, back with another podcast review for you. Let's talk about the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead and its new 4K edition. Well, like a lot of remakes when it come out, critics hated this idea. I think it was 50-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. People were like, a bad idea. Why would you remake a classic? And at the time, I think a lot of us felt the same way. But I remember walking out of the theater going, no, that wasn't half bad. And I did own, I think, the Twilight Time Blu-ray years ago that everybody picked on because of the color timing or whatever. So a long time waiting for a good version of this movie. It was edited when it was first released. If you don't know anything about it, in 1990, George Romero was fighting for the rights of Night of the Living Dead that he made in 1968. So he wrote a new script, worked with some of the same producers, and commissioned a new version in 1990. Same basic script. New stars, so a few changes to the story, but overall it's about 7 people who find a farmhouse when the dead have started to rise for some unknown reason. They picked a couple of great cast members. Patricia Tallman stars in this before we saw her on Babylon 5 and stuff. She's fantastic in the movie. Also, a young Tony Todd is the star. He is also fantastic in the film. And everybody's pretty great. Even Bill Moseley plays the jerk in the basement. Anyway, even the jerk is great. There's a lot of great extras on this. Sony kind of did a thing on this new 4K, like some of the boutique labels. They have new interviews with some of the stars that are still around. And Tom Savini talking about it. Now, some of these things were recorded in 2016, I believe, and some are new, but they're fairly recent. And Tom Savini is about 30 minutes discussing how he had to change the film, edit the film, things he couldn't do, things he wanted to do and he wasn't able to do, like open the movie in black and white as kind of an homage, and it would slowly turn color, which is now on the uncensored version. On the Blu-ray and the 4K, you get both versions of the film, the rated R theatrical release and the unrated, uncensored version is what they're calling it. And it does have more stuff in it. I got to say, watching this now, the movie is kind of tame by zombie standards. It's really good. Like, he builds the tension, the music is really good, the acting is really good, the effects are really good. But when you finally get to the big zombie gore stuff, it just wasn't that gory. It was kind of tame. Now, he had to trim a few things to keep from getting an X rating, like a head exploding and things like that. Those are back in the movie now in the uncensored version. But the whole thing plays out just a little more tame than modern zombie movies would. But that being said, the tension is there, the acting is there, the cinematography is there. As a remake goes, especially when you have the original author involved, the original director, the original writers, that kind of stuff, it's interesting to do something different with it. And they did. Some of the characters end a little bit differently. The movie ends a little bit differently, has pretty much the same things to say as the classic original, but it's in color, had a bigger budget. They had a $4 million budget, only went on to make like $5 million. Didn't do that good in 1990. Now, Sony released this a couple weeks ago on 4K, and it took about 2 weeks media mail for me to get a copy of it. During that time, it's gone out of print, and to get it used is about $140 right now. So hopefully Sony makes more of these, or at least a standard edition so that everybody can see it. I thought the 4K was fantastic. I thought it looked great for a movie that was filmed on film in 1990. The restoration looks good. The HDR was implemented well. The colors are all just robust and tight. The whole thing is very concise. There's a light layer of grain. Also, the soundtrack is in Atmos. Also, really well done. Won't blow you away like a modern movie, but overall, I think it's worth picking up. If you've ever enjoyed this movie, you have to see this uncensored version. This is the first time it's ever been released. It restores the edits he made to keep from getting an X rating, and the movie plays better because of it. I think all in all, this is a nice side piece to the original. I'm not a fan of remakes either, but this is actually a decent one and did enough things different that I would probably do a 1-2 punch. Watch the original and then watch this. You get kind of different things out of it. I think this new special edition is incredible. I think it looks great. It sounds great. And it's a shame that it's so limited that it's really hard to get right now. So if you find one for in the $30 to $40 range, pick it up because they may not be making any more. Hopefully they do. I think Night of the Living Dead, the remake, deserves a reappraisal these days, and people that are giving it in the 4 to 4.5 star range. And hearing Tom Savini about what he really wanted to do with it, kind of wish he had been able to do everything he wanted to do. They told him things like they didn't have time to do it, when it turned out they kind of did. But anyway, now that we have removed some of Sony's edits and stuff, and you can see it, how Tom Savini filmed it, it's pretty great as remakes go. Still doesn't replace the original, of course not, but it's a different kind of thing, but kind of the same thing, a different version of the same thing. And I thought it was really well done. And this new version is the way to get it. So more Halloween podcasts on the way. I hope you're having a great October so far. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and have a spectacular day.